And we are going to talk to the filmmaker and lead actor of The Outwaters, which is a horror film that is in release. I believe it's out today. Or early next week. He'll correct us when he joins the show. I want to talk a little bit about this movie before we bring Robbie on. I am a huge fan of the found footage horror films. When they work and when they hit really well. This film begins off, The Outwaters, with it's like you hear like this bizarre like 911 police call. Someone is hysterical. There's something frantic. Some horrible things are happening and someone is called 911. We then cut to like footage from a camera that has been captured. No context for any of this, with the exception of the 911 call. And we see mostly shot first person, couple out in the desert. Seems they're out for a good time. Things go south really quickly. What I really like about this found footage movie is the first person nature of it. The fact that like many of the times when you're seeing it, you don't know what's happening. And then when you realize what's happening, it's horrifying. It's freaking horrifying. So I want to bring the director on, Robbie Banfitch, to the show to explain to us. Robbie, hey, thanks for joining us on the Film Threat Livecast. Got about 400 people watching us live right now. Tell us about this movie, The Outwaters, which is it out today or like today? It's out on video on demand today, and it's in theaters. It's in theaters.
No, it's only in theaters today.
Only in theaters today.
It came out last night. It'll be out through the weekend, and depending on how many people want to watch it, it may stay out or. But yeah, it'll be coming to streaming soon.
Cool. Well, congratulations for that. Tell us like what led to this. I mean, the found footage genre kind of crosses, like there's a lot of different types of found footage movies. I think it's probably horror is the best platform to, or best genre to use found footage. But what made you decide to make the movie this way?
I've always wanted to make specifically a found footage movie since the original Blair Witch Project. But I wanted to wait until I had an idea that to me felt unique and like I could do it. I could do the genre service or like do it right. You know what I mean? I wanted an excuse for the camera to keep rolling that felt organic and not bullshitting. And also I wanted to go make something and not wait to have someone, make something for me, if that makes sense.
And then also, how difficult was it to like, you're in the movie and you're directing the movie? What sort of challenges did that present?
That wasn't that difficult because mostly I was filming and behind the camera. So I wasn't really thinking too much about anything other than what was in front of the camera, which the character was doing the same thing. So that was pretty straightforward.
Cool. What now? There's a lot going on in this film. There's a point at which I don't want to give away any spoilers, but because you're seeing the first person view, it's something I can't recall ever seeing in a horror movie, which is you are the person that is being, the things are happening to. Does that make sense? Where like you are being, there's some creature in the desert, there are sounds and noises, and the camera, the person, the eyes we're seeing it through is the person that these horrific things are happening to. One, how hard was that to film? And then two, like, I think it adds a whole other layer of horror when you're just, these grotesque things are occurring. I don't want to describe it in super graphic detail, but it really got to me.
Good. I'm glad.
Yeah. I'm sure that was the point. You're supposed to be affected by this movie, but I thought it was particularly because a found footage movie, it's usually like you find the footage, you see what's going on, and then the filmmakers kind of make excuses for why you're seeing it. This was just the police found this footage on a camera and they're reviewing the footage is effectively the setup at the beginning. And then you see, the people being victimized by a desert creature, but they're the ones holding the camera. And then by the end, it just goes freaking bonkers. Maybe just talk about how difficult it was to film all that because it gets pretty damn gory.
Uh, I don't recall too much difficulty other than certain moments with wind and being able to even like function out uh, in the wind. There was a lot of heat, but that wasn't too bad because it wasn't like humid heat. Um, yeah, I mean, honestly, I felt like most of the filming went fairly smoothly. Most of it.
Well, let's go. We've got people in our chat that want to ask questions here, so let's get to the questions.
Mhm.
How about Appion commenting Blair Witch Project Cloverfield? Do you have any thoughts about those? Those are other movies that are found footage movies.
I mean, the original Blair Witch Project is one of my favorite movies of all time in general. Um, I I definitely tried to do the authenticity thing in terms of the performances and it actually feeling like real footage and not exposition and characters having fights about everything. So I drew a lot of inspiration from the very first Blair Witch Project. Um,
Cool.
yeah.
Here's a out of the blue question here. Raylo Normie asks, Robbie, is the Jersey Devil real?
You know, I did a documentary on the Jersey Devil in high school. It was
Whoa.
Devil of the Barrens, and it
Uh-huh.
was just an excuse to get out of a science project. So
Good.
that's actually like very shitty because I think I uploaded it to YouTube in like 2006, but that's on YouTube. If you want to search Devil of the Barrens, you can watch my janky Jersey Devil documentary. I don't know, but I met like family members of the Leeds family, which is according to the legend, the Jersey Devil is like the 13th child of Mother Leeds. So I did meet some Leeds.
Nice.
Yeah,
More questions here. Lubitsch Touch Me, who's a member, says, do you have a favorite horror film?
Candyman, the original Candyman.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Uh, Brock Samsonite asks, how different or difficult was it to film this movie in a way that makes it look more like found footage and not a big budget movie?
I just used a camera that was appropriate to what I could afford, and I think part of the problem I have with a lot of recent found footage movies is they look like they're regular movies, and I don't understand the point of that. So
Yeah, yeah.
I used a consumer camera.
Oh, that's interesting. I felt that way when I was watching the movie Missing, which I like those screen films. They're kind of like the uh, step cousin of like your found footage movies are these screen films, and
Mhm.
sometimes I feel like it's too slick. It's
Yeah,
too
I don't.
perfectly shot. It doesn't feel authentic.
I'm generally anti slickness anyway, whether it's found footage or not. I hate how clean and perfect movies look these days, and like the lack of grain and the lack of like blacks. So yeah.
Did you have much of a crew, like lighting and sound, or were you just going for full authenticity?
Cast was the crew. A couple days I had a friend drive out to help out with certain shots, but most of the time it was just the cast was the crew.
Cool. And then Lubitsch Touch Me also asks, who did your poster? It's amazing.
Uh, Keith Goulet at Keith G Designs did all the posters, and he is amazing. So I got lucky. He made a fan poster early on, which I really loved, and that fan poster is um, he caught it at like a film festival, and I saw the fan poster, and that's what basically is the theatrical poster now with the Ange's face in the darkness. We all die in the dark, 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 dark. That was Keith's original design, but then I had him do like 13 more posters because I love a grindhouse vibe.
I do too. I love Grindhouse posters. Let's see. What cameras did you choose for the look you wanted?
The camera I had, so it was just a Canon 70D.
Nice. Am I going to get motion sickness watching this, says Raylo Normie?
I don't know. I mean, I never got motion sickness from the original Blair Witch Project. I think it just depends on your brain and how that connects with your tummy. I'm not sure. I mean, a lot of the shot I actually tried to balance out. There's a lot of still shots in the Outwaters, and there is a lot of motion stuff. A lot of the motion stuff is in darkness though, so I mean, I don't know.
Cool. Let's see. The nerd far away asks, just for funsies, what do you like to use for fake blood?
Usually I make my own. In this case, I did that for one day, and I was like, I can't make this much fake blood, so I started buying a brand that seems to no longer exist. It's possible I just bought them out. Um, but a tip, because I cannot stand seeing like bluish or clearish fake blood in like $100 million movies. A tip is add other stuff to it, so it's a little orangey, or like put a little milk in it sometimes. You know, a little
Did your
cloudy.
Yeah, did your color correction help like sort of amp up the red in the blood?
There wasn't No, there wasn't too much color correction. What you see is pretty much what I filmed.
Cool. Let's see. Someone's asking, and you can Dylan W ask, what was the budget?
It was like 7 grand to make it primarily, and then another like about that to do things like insurance and all that stuff. So not much.
Well, that's impressive. And it's in theaters. That's hugely impressive. Appion asks, who is your favorite director?
So Terrence Malick and Woody Allen's dramas, uh, Francois Ozon. In high school, Dario Argento was one of my favorite directors for sure. There's a lot of scenes in the Outwaters and the early on with like that kind of Dario Argento lighting, with the neons and colors. So I mean, I have a lot. Jane Campion, Xavier Dolan.
Raylo Normie asks, what movie made you want to get into film?
Probably Jaws. It's just like the first favorite movie I ever had. Ever since I was like 3, I just loved Jaws, and I think must be Jaws.
And then any advice for beginning directors?
Listen to the audio commentaries and watch the making of documentaries of your favorite guerrilla indie films and see how they did it and take notes. And um, that's my practical advice. And don't wait it for anybody to, make something happen for you. Just got to go do stuff sometimes.
I would second that. I think Paul Thomas Anderson gave the same piece of advice and just said, listen to director commentaries. They're trying to educate you. One of the best commentaries, it's difficult to find now, is Martin Scorsese's commentary track for Taxi Driver. That one, there's just so many really good ones. Also, Steven Soderbergh is particularly good at commentary tracks. Do you have any favorite commentary tracks you could recommend?
Now, I can't remember if it's a commentary track or a making of or both, but Open Water, the way they made that film,
Yes.
I would. It's on. It's either both or one or the other. But I would get that DVD and listen to and watch all that. That was extremely inspiring. It always stuck with me ever since I listened to / watched the behind the scenes stuff on that in terms of how they made that movie. Also, you could read the book 8 Days in the Woods about the making of the Blair Witch Project. Super amazing. It's also just like really fun to read if you're a fan of filmmaking in general.
And then 2 final comments and questions from Lubitsch Touch Me. Let's go. You mentioned Argento. Would you say there is any Galo influence in this film?
Just in some certain scenes with the lighting, not plot wise. But yeah, I mean I love pretty colors. So there's a scene where Michelle's singing and it's like blue and pink red, and then there's dancing in the kitchen with like reds and green blues. So just color wise, but not plot wise.
Yeah. And then last question here from Lubitsch Touch Me. Do you have any future projects planned?
Yeah, my new movie Tinsman Road premieres at a festival next month. So
Wow.
it's a new feature that I shot while editing the Outwaters. Obviously, the Outwaters is a little divisive, so I would say if you love the Outwaters, you might like my new movie. If you hate the Outwaters, you might like my new movie because it's a different movie. But yeah, it's shot on mini DV, and it's a straightforward kind of mystery drama that you would find in the horror section of the video store. So Tinsman Road next month.
Yeah.
Uh,
Is the Outwaters exclusive to Regal Cinemas, Regal Theaters?
No, it's playing in some Regals, some AMCs. Pretty excited
Okay.
about Nicole Kidman introducing the Outwaters. We're playing at some Alamos,
Okay.
and then some Harkins, Malco's theaters. The OutwatersMovie.com has a running list of all the theaters that are playing. In Los Angeles, it's only playing at the Music Hall 3 at the Lumiere Cinema, so that'll be fun. And then a couple on the outskirts of LA as well. But just the OutwatersMovie.com has all the theaters.
Yeah, showing at my local Regal, so there's that too.
all right, well let's actually show that right now. I'm gonna I hope you don't. I'm gonna share a screen here. And Robbie, congratulations! You're a young
Yeah.
filmmaker. Your movie here is like hitting theaters. That's huge. You can go to the outwatersmovie.com to check out where to get tickets. This poster, look at this poster. Can you guys see this poster?
Pretty cute.
I have to zoom in, and it has almost like sort of a Dune feel to it, a sense of mystery. Like I love this poster here.
Thank you. Yeah, and if you scroll down, there'll be different tabs of
I zoomed too hard, so to speak.
if you scroll down, that's where all the the theaters are.
Okay, cool. Yeah, if you scroll down, but yeah, this movie is Oh, look at this. This is a decent theatrical release. That's huge.
Yeah, so each tab has different states by alphabet. There's like 4 tabs, and it's also playing in Canada as well. It played at the Rio back to back with Skinamarink, which was exciting, and it'll be in Toronto and Edmonton and a few other places.
Cool. Well, Robbie, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us here on the Film Threat livecast. Your movie, The Outwaters, is out today, and you can go to theoutwatersmovie.com. Thank you so much, man.
Thanks for
Talk to you
having
soon.
me.
All right, later.